Sitting here in the Nemo tent in luxury with Lee Martin. We've come for a 5-month on report on your baby, who we last saw in a kind of more clouded way at the S&B Raceway. But now, not only is it out in the open and we can photograph all the bits, you're racing it. It's the new, is it N1 it's called? That's the right. N1 from Agama, and it's even got some Lee Martin racing parts on it already, I noticed there. Is that because you own the 3D printer?
No, they're old parts. They're old parts, that one.
So first of all, what made you decide to actually go for it here at the Nemo Raceway with the new car? I know you've been holding off because of prototype bits and bobs and it's not been tough. And how's it going?
It's going very well. I mean, we decided to run it because why not? You know, we said we were going to run it at RCGP this year when we had our little chat in America. And we thought, what better place to do it than here? We didn't do it in Italy because, you know, we were still a bit scared of breaking it. But as the weather's nice in England, and we knew it was going to be nice in England, which obviously helps the 3D printing, we decided to rock it and give it its first race in my hands at our track at a big event.
Yeah, because John ran it at the Euros, didn't he?
John's ran it for most of the last year, almost 2 years now. So we know what's going to go wrong, or you know, we know what's going to wear quicker than what it normally would. So we've got a good idea. So we just try and keep on top of it.
So refresh us, what is the reason for the radical change in concept, which you can see is the shocks are now laid down, they're horizontally opposed. In many ways, having laid down internal shocks is much more the usual motorsports fashion, isn't it? But why decide to buck at least 25 years, perhaps 35 years of RC history and go back that way again?
Well, they're all pretty boring now, aren't they? So, I mean, the idea is centre of gravity. You know, me coming from Thamescale, you know, we're always looking to lower our centre of gravity now with the high traction tracks. Tracks have evolved. You have a lot more grip now at most tracks you go to, and the guys running the tracks try and make them as smooth as possible now. You know, we don't have the blown out tracks of old. So we decided it was time for a change, a new way of thinking. And we did it as a bit of a trial to start with, and really liked the way it felt, even though we could improve it, and went with it. And this is like over 2 years ago now that we started this journey. And we love it. It's different. Everyone loves it when they see it, and it drives pretty damn awesome as well.
Obviously, it's visually different, and it's you can see the advantage you would have in central gravity, absolutely, and I can see the advantage you would also have aerodynamically to an extent. You've not got big bluff things sticking up. But does it actually in any way change the handling of the car? Because I mean, it's just a relocation of the shocks. You obviously get the angles right, so you've got the same stroke on them. You know, it's not the key part, obviously, like the roll centre, or whether you're going to go C-hub or pillow ball. So is it just changes those two things, or does that lay down actually change other parts of the handling?
It really does change those two things. We tried to keep it conventional in the way that the shocks work the same as a stand-up car. You know, you can have rocker suspension, which changes things a little bit, but we didn't want to do that because we didn't want to massively confuse people. Plus, we found some flaws with that design for the RC cars. Obviously, real motorsport cars, they use it, but they can have a lot better products than we can with tolerances that are a lot less. So went for this. So yeah, you're right. Effectively, it works the same as a normal car, but the lower center of gravity when you drive it is quite evident. You can actually have a pretty bad setup and the car still feels good to drive because you don't get that massive movement that you complain about when your car's not set up right. And ultimately, that's all we're looking for, always changing the way the car rolls for what traction levels we have and stuff. So, yeah, we've definitely found some big gains there. And, I mean, that's the reason we went with it, because we could see its potential.
You said it's been in development for a couple of years. Obviously, I'm sure it's been delayed slightly by COVID and everything else. But how many iterations have we gone through to get to this unit here? I mean, is this like Mark 72? Or did you get quite close in just 3 or 4 goes?
So this is Mark 7.
Right.
So, you know, we've had a few variations of it. Initially, it was the concept, and it worked, but the design was a bit all over the place. Like the shocks were kind of in the wrong place, and it just looked a bit ugly. So then we started moving from there to get everything as compact and as low as possible. And then we went into how it is to work on. You know, one of the bugbears of 8 scale is you can't change things quickly. So we made sure we can get into the diffs quick, and then when you want to get into the differentials, everything stays on the car. So like the roll bars, you don't need to take off, or you don't need to. The suspension arms stay on, literally 4 bolts and a couple of nuts, and you're in, and you can change everything: ring, pinion, drive shafts, everything. So,
and everything. So you're saying everything works the same? So I mean, are the spring rates the same, or do you have to have unique springs for it? Or
I mean, just a bit shorter. The front shock is shorter than our old front shock. The rear shock is our old front shock. So for now, we've had to cut down springs for the front because you just need them shorter, which isn't ideal. but we just had to make it work. So there will be a new set of springs coming for the front end, but the rear end you just use an original front spring and you're all good.
So obviously, well, evidenced by you nearly coming third yesterday, and it's obviously working.
Yeah, very well. And as I mentioned, we haven't ran it here. I mean, we ran it here on Thursday, and that was our time to learn, really. So, yeah, been absolutely happy with it. It's really good in long pace. I seem to get better towards the end of our short races, so I'm quite looking forward to the final. As long as we can keep it together, an hour with all 3D printed parts, because it's still 3D, anything can break at any moment. But if we hold it together, I think we've got a good shot at doing well.
Thank you. Looks great. Good luck.
Thank you.